being on online radio is quite difficult to gain audience. So that's South Africa.
There is someone listening to you.
Every show, do it as it's your first time.
Alright, ngiyakubingelela ngakwamukela mbukeli lapho ke ngasekhaya kusonakele sisiqephu sale podcast la sisho khona sithi ke the faces behind the voices. Kama lami nguSimthande Myeza isibongo, kanti ke kule podcast sobe sikhuluma nabantu esibaziyo benza izinto ezimangazayo emva kombhobho. Namhlanje sithi ke ake sihlale nabo siqhathanise ke ubuso siqhathanise nephimbo. Namhlanje ke ngizoqala ke ngentokazi lapha ke sithola kamnandi kumsakazo Durban Youth Radio uyena ke lapha ke uThando the Bosslady esobe sikhuluma naye namhlanje simazi kangcono sikhuluma ukuthi ke ithini into behind the scenes ngoba sivamise ukubezwa lapha ke emsakazweni wekhuluma. Thando ngiyakubingelela. Ngiyaphila kunjani kwena?
Right, thank you for having me.
Ngiyabonga kakhulu nami ukuthi ufike. Ngiyalithanda igama lakho lika Bosslady ngoba lihambisana naye. Yazi uThando unalento yokuboss. Umefika siyayizwa ipresence yakhe.
And understand, yabo once ngaba ne-Mac ngizoba nama problems.
Ukhulele phi vele la?
Funny part whenever I speak about ngikhulele phi. That thing's not even in the map, you know. So I grew up in a place called Curating, a very small place.
Okay.
I grew up. I spent most of my time, well, my childhood at Curating.
Okay.
It's in Sydenham. Reservoir Hills, around Yabo, Springfield, Ganjalo, Lapoge. It's just in the Norway deeps of there. So that's where I grew up. I went to school at Beshe High School. That's where I did my matric. I went to Palmer Primary, around Clear State as well. So things like I did not grow up in a well-off environment or family, but everyone that was around me, my granny, Mamnano, so rest in peace, and my mom, were always there. You know, there's always family politics, of course, but then they were there to make sure Kula, and everything like that. We actually went through a lot, and it came to a point where by the time I was in matric, I was more of an adult than I was a kid. You know, people my age in high school were more worried about certain things like where you're gonna go for the weekend, where you're gonna this, where you're gonna that. I was more worried about Ming Figekaya, what are we gonna eat? Ming Figekaya, what's this? You know, not worried because I have to buy it, but worried because I know the situation I left back at home. Yeah? I remember when I started in grade 8, Ngankoge uniform me as a primary.
Okay.
Okay, that was when I bought the uniform, but I'm going from Mhlophe as a primary. La, gray. You understand? So that alone was just like when I first came, everyone is in like full uniform and I'm in like a uniform in Dal. But for that, I took it in, I embraced it, I took all the critics, I took every sort of criticism that I faced or the bullying or whatever the case is and mended it to become who I am, and it made me stronger. So it's even when you used to tease me, because I had this thing of my voice and my eyes. Sometimes I squinted, sometimes I right. Yeah. So if you tease me, I would tease myself first before someone else teases me. That's where because it makes no difference. So it was that. So after matric, I had, like I said, I had to be an adult. I moved out of home after high school, and I've been independent ever since.
DYR zihamba kanjani izinto?
Hey, ziyawala phakamlungu guys. So yes, DYR, I've been in DYR since March this year, and it's been amazing. Of course, we are in radio.
But iqala phi ke Dowa, ngifisa sihlele emumva. Awuqalanga uDYR ngithi you've been to
Okay, I've been to Eita radio. So how the whole love of radio, how it came about, it was always a concept of I'm just like, no, let's sing. Can never be, and I never really understood it until in tertiary. When I went to tertiary, I understood I would really love radio because I got to understand everything about it. I didn't study it fully, but I
Okay.
just did EPR, so it incorporated irate. So as a Kambiskati, I grew the love for it.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it didn't happen as soon as I wanted it to happen.
Okay.
So I only started in Eita radio last year as well. I think it's been like 2.5 years, I think,
Okay.
in radio, in the radio industry. If I'm
That's
not
a long
mistaken.
time. We are Sondela Kubeni legend already.
I'm coming. Watch the space.
Uh-huh.
So yes, I started on Eita Radio. It's an online radio
Okay.
where I used to do a breakfast show. And then from there onwards, the love grew. I think for 8 months I stayed on Eita Radio. From then I ventured into DYR.
Okay.
And on DYR I started with Graveyard, of course.
Okay.
Akekho umuntu ongazi ukuthi in radio.
Okay, let's stay with Eita. Ngifisa ukuzwa ukuthi kunjani ukusebenza kwi-online radio because njengamanje sibona this emergence of online radio stations amaningi kakhulu. So how are things there? Izinto isebenza kanjani compared to lawe siwajayele or frequency?
Frequency and stuff. Honestly speaking, being on online radio is quite difficult to gain audience.
Okay.
Because abantu abaningi most it's an online radio. So umuntu yacabanga kumele ngilalele idatha lami.
Okay.
First of all, you know,
Yeah,
idatha
yeah.
liyabiza South Africa.
Okay.
It's data. It's the fact that you can't listen to the station while you're driving to work or you're driving
okay.
from work. You need to have your phone and whatever
Okay.
the case is. So it's really hard to gain listenership if you are in an online type of content because
Okay.
even if you market yourself or whatever the case is, it's all about the fact that who is willing to spend data labo to listen to you. You understand?
But kukhona ubuhle bakhona, there are advantages to it kuba online.
There's always
Or
advantages.
because it's ihambisana nalento ukuthi wonke umuntu is here efonini, wonke umuntu
Exactly.
is online.
Exactly. That's one of the hugest advantages.
Okay.
Because isikhathi esiningi, I myself don't watch TV,
Okay.
but indaba ngiyazi ukuthi kwenzakalani emhlabeni because ngila efonini.
Okay.
So another advantage is that if people really love listening to you, or if you have like really good listenership, people don't mind spending data labo on you.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
Because vele umuntu uyazifuna yakhe lana, hlapha fama headsets, uyastudisha, whatever the case is. So there's perks as well, in as much as, you know, there's no perks.
And people do listen to online radio stations because njengoba lento aduyisho ukuthi audience kuba inkinga ukuyithola. And I feel like kufanele sisho lento nabantu abakuwona online radio stations njengamanje ukuthi there is someone listening to you.
There's always someone listening
Yeah,
to you.
yeah.
There's
So you
always
never
someone.
know. Just do your best.
There's always someone, every show, do it as if it's your first time. That's what I believe in.
Now you're moving to DYR, uyafika lapha bathi Graveyard. Uhamba
Yena,
kanjani?
baby girl, lapho ngiyafika DYR ngisho ukuthi yabona-ke la ngoba mina ngiphuma kwi-breakfast.
Okay.
Ngiyisi breakfast kanti no, relax.
Okay.
You know, take a chill pill. Ngaqale ngabhadisha, like I shadowed for a few weeks, got
Okay.
to know the keys and everything because Eita sasenzela yonke into.
Okay.
So here you produce your own show, you create your own content,
Okay.
whatever. So I started with Graveyard really late shift from 10 to 12. It was a nightmare. Transport, Gabanda, or whatever the case is, you know. But you soldier on because it's something that you actually
what
love.
time was it exactly? Multi Graveyard. is it?
Graveyard is from 10 to 12.
Okay.
Starts a graveyard slot.
Okay.
12 till 5. Hayi ke lapho ke ziyakhala
Yeah.
kwamambela ke.
Monday khala ke lapho.
Bayakhala kwamambela ke lapho.
Yeah.
From 12 to 5 kuyakhala serious because
Okay.
breakfast yaqala ngo-6, you understand? So those are the time slots for a graveyard.
And uhlezi laphana uthi ubani uzongilalela ngalesi sikhathi.
Lalela.
But into engiye ngiyithande wena Thando about i-graveyard slot is that ikunikeza i-space and an opportunity to grow, yabona, because laphana you don't have a big audience ezobe mhlambe i-criticize kakhulu nezobe kwenza ube nervous now ukuthi okay, I'm doing it drive ngibe ngifika, I still have a lot to learn. Now uyavumela ukuthi ukwenze lokho, like to grow and learn at your own pace.
Yeah, I think for me, graveyard really helped me because coming from breakfast, a lot of things were handed to us from Eita because even the keys were done for us. But when it comes to graveyard, I learned the keys. I learned how to put the music. I learned how to put the music off. I learned how to put, you know, the skits, the ads, the everything. I knew how to master my voice, how to change my voice, how not to change my voice. So it really put me on a bigger scale in understanding a radio as a whole, you know, and the fact that I was surrounded by people that are really, really big, people that have been in the industry. So they taught me a lot, and graveyard really taught me, Vusi, as in order for you to succeed in anything, you need to bereka.
And how do you make that work? Show yaku graveyard slot, because another thing about doing a radio show, kuba khona ama features that you do there. Some of them I think to interact with your listeners. So what kind of features do you think work for a graveyard slot show?
I think for me, it was a bit easier because I had created an audience already for myself.
Okay.
I'd created, I won't say fan base because I'm not famous, but I've created people that would be interested to hear me speak. You know, people that would be interested to hear what I have to say. So for me, it was always a matter of Vusi. My number one supporters were definitely my mom, my baby sister, my friends, and of course people that are on my WhatsApp.
And they gave you feedback.
Yeah, so your voice is so nice for radio. Essence sometimes you would create, like when you're creating a feature, you know, I would take a friend of mine and put it on that feature, or I'd take that name and put it on that feature. So I would use my surroundings or anything to create.
So ngiyazi ukuthi mangumngani nothando nje once ngenza something ngizoyithola senguyi feature.
Look, sugar coatela kancane, you know. I'll sugar
anonymous la.
Anonymous la.
I'm dampile because of this and that. And you're like, okay,
the story just want to some.
Yeah.
I've had so many friends like angengitshele ke mina le story ngoba something is so great. Like, no, don't worry, your secret is safe with me. But you know, anonymous always works.
Yeah. Uma usafika emsakazweni uzibona kanjani ukuthi okay njengamanje ngiready ke manje ukumove on to other shows? Mhlambe ngiyazi omunye uzothi okay decision yabo programs manager and stuff like that, but when yourself khona la uzwa ukuthi okay I've grown, singing right.
You know, like you said, it's the programs manager's decision when they listen to your work, how far you've come, whatever the case is. But Mina, I've realized how I am ready because I knew my keys, you know, I knew my cues, I knew my voice, I knew how hungry I was for what I wanted, and I knew I don't want to just be on community radio for the longest of time. This is my goal. So in order for me to reach that goal, I need to make sure I'm working 10 times harder than I should be. You know what I'm saying? There's still room for improvement for everything, because whenever, like my programs manager once asked me, how good are you on radio? I said, I'll give myself a 7. You know, the 3 is for the fact that I am always learning every single
there's
day.
Still
There's
room
for improvement in everything. So yeah, that's just it.
So currently you are doing the 9 to 12.
Yes, currently. So currently I am doing Eat Grown and Sexy Sundays.
Okay.
It's an amazing show. I feel like it's do you Netflix and chill type of vibes,
yes.
But we call it DYR and chill type of vibes. You know, we start out the mood, we play you your love jams. You know, you tell us about your flops.
And what time is it?
It's from 9 to 12. 9 to 12 every Sunday, Grown and Sexy Sundays.
In the evening.
Okay. Yes, in the evening. PM, guys. PM. Please, yeah, understand. So the whole concept of it, because it just started because we reshuffled everything. We got new programs and everything, new names, everything fresh. So I want to actually go onto it with a more deeper educational side of women, men's health, women's health, not just sexually but relationships, work, being an entrepreneur, being a mom, being a teenager, being a single parent, the whole works, both male and female aspects. So it's called Grown and Sexy, where So
the name says a lot about the show.
Like, guys, I'm the creator behind the show.
I was stuck there. Like, I feel like it's very creative. Yeah.
So how I came about Eat Grown and Sexy Sundays, of course, okay, 9 to 12. Mengibuka 9 to 12, I'm like, hey, yini lalelayo ngo 9 to 12. Sekukhulunywa ngani ngo 9 to 12. You know, ngesonto. Ngabona ukuthi hayi no, nami ngesonto I like to chill. I like my good music. Mostly, I won't even mention the stations, but there's certain stations that I like to listen to at a specific time or a day. So I was like, okay, at DYR we don't have something that's more intense, not sexually, but that's just more intense and more, you know, on the scale of people wanting to know what's what's going on. So I was
Mm.
like, no, let me come up with a name that has a Sunday feel, that has content that's endless around it. So being the creative that I am,
Yeah.
I was just like, you know what? Like I first wanted to call it DYR and chill.
Okay.
But I was like, nah,
Yeah.
it's just like, you know,
It's basic.
yeah, it's basic.
yeah.
So I was like, you know what, I'm grown, I'm saying, you know, so,
I'm good.
you know, I'm good. So I was like, no, let me just run with it. And when I ran with it, it was a win. And then the slogan, of course, is, you know, DYR and chill.
So what type of features do you have for a show of that kind?
Oh my god, I what I do is I don't like to repeat features. I don't know if it makes sense. Ne? I like to every single week I come in with a new feature that's relevant towards what's been happening and towards the week or whatever the case is, you know. But one that's standard is my Sunday motivation. I love motivational talks, so I sal.
There's a word for it, but is it a benchmark? But that one thing was which if I listen to the show,
it sets it
there,
off.
and Abanye, they say I want to listen to the show
because of that specific segment. You know,
so is it one of those?
It's one of those.
Okay.
Guti, I know Guti on my motivational Sundays I do life coaching as well on the side. Maybe we'll talk about it later.
Oh, side hustle. Yeah.
Side hustle. So I like life coaching. I like motivating people to actually wake up and do something for themselves with what they have. You know, don't wait to have a fancy office or a fancy car or fancy decks to be where you want to be. So I like the Sunday motivational one where you know, people you inspire people to wake up because it's a Sunday. Sasu Monday umuntu wethu akafuni emsebenzini akafuni ukuvuka phansi ukhathele. So I like those ones.
There's something about indaba motivation that I love because it also says a lot about who you are as a person.
Individual.
Yeah, because you can't just motivate abantu. Noma ungaba motivator, but if it's not in you, yabon, it just won't work. Yabon.
Yes,
so I think it says something now.
About me. No.
Are you a very umuntu oyilonto nje vele ogqugquzelanayo?
I realized that through my friends.
Okay.
Recently, foods. I've always been the type of person when someone has something going on, as like me no mundo yabo. Noma mhlambe I have random people literally umuntu angitshela story sakhe ngingambuza ngingamtshelanga. I think it's a type of aura that comes with it, and then people get so comfortable. And then along the line, I realized my friends were like, when I'm going to be a life coach, I'm just like, hey, life coach anwenza khathele nozinkinga zabantu ke inenkinga zami, you understand? But you know,
abantu bezokhala ngomjolo.
Nami angisa. You know, awunyiswe nawe baby girl. I'm also going through the pits. But the way I would respond to umuntu would be a way good sample umuntu would be like, okay, that makes sense, or they would take my advice. And then I was like, no, let me look into this gift, because since guys we go around trying to find what is it that you're actually good in. We go around trying to find ukuthi kahle kahle mina kumele ngisebenze office noma kumele ngiyiphathe kumele ngibe nebusiness kanti not knowing ukuthi your actual gift is something that's actually going to take you there. And then I realized Vusi, I love speaking, so I just put two and two together.
Boss lady, yabona leli gama ka boss lady ngishilo ngathi mangubuka lina that thing esho
ukuthi manje
bakubize ngobani ubabes wamanzi.
Babes wamanzi.
Why bebiza ubabes wamanzi ngoba uyageza?
No, well, that's the first part.
Okay. With a man.
Yeah. Second part is that I think it's been 2 years now. I have a water brand, purified water brand called Stay Premium Water.
Oh, the one that you own in Belanje.
Yeah,
I was not to go to a brand ambassador.
No.
Okay.
So yes, it's a water brand that I started 2 years ago. I was going through the most in my life, and I didn't know what to do. And at that time, I was just stuck between, you know, do I continue working at this whatever place I was working in, which I hated, or do I find something that will actually make me become who I want to become? So at that point, my mentor, I have a friend, he's also a mentor. We were just throwing out ideas. We wanted to start an energy drink, actually. to actually be honest. Being to go be energy drink, but then there was no money for an energy drink.
Okay.
It's so expensive, and then I kid you not, it was the most random idea.
Okay.
Random idea. I don't wake up and say it was the most random idea. We were just talking. We were just like, how about senza mans?
Okay.
You know, the both of us, like, how about water? It's like, yes, I was also thinking the same thing. And then I ran with it. And then today we have a baby that's 2 years old.
Okay,
Stay
so
Up Premium Water.
lakhona?
It's called Stay Up Premium Water.
Stay Up Premium. Why the name? Stay Up.
Why
Premium
the
Water?
name Stay Up? I think along my journeys before I even came
Is it
about.
you again who came up with it?
Yeah.
As a creative.
I told
In
you.
the team.
I told you, as a creative. So how I came about to Stay Up, I think I was just done with my 3rd year. I think I just graduated, and I was working for this other IT company, and I was trying to find a name for a company that I want to actually start, because I'm getting forever for the longest time. So it was a clothing brand.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it started off as a clothing brand, and then yeah, it's the same. It's a house name. It's a household name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a household name. I'll name the other subsections of it, but it started off Stay Up brand. Started off as a clothing brand.
Okay.
I wanted to name it Melanin because I wanted it to differentiate African women, black, you know, everything. But then apparently the word melanin was already taken. Yeah? And then I came up with, I was just browsing through the internet, and then I saw something with Stay Up or something like that. And
it was a motivational quote or something.
Yeah, it was something, but it was about staying up and just being yourself and doing, doing what you want to do in life. So I was like, no, Stay Up. And then when I differentiated it by myself before I took it out there, Stay Up means a lot of things. It means me personally, that from my childhood to where I am today, I literally had to stay up and put my head up high to be where I am.
So tell me about abantu osuke wasebenzisana nabo, and how has it been so far?
I don't wanna lie. I've worked with really big people, not big maybe in terms of pockets or money or fame, whatever the case is, but people that have an impact in the community. Yeah? I've worked with, one of my biggest favorites is Vusi Munzama. I've worked with Usbu Masoga, Utami Shoba, Usbusiso as well. These are people that in their communities they have a huge impact. You know, they're about business, they're about impacting the lives of those around them. You know, they're not the type of people guti mesebe lapha behle lapha in the boardrooms or nabelungu guti mhlambe no yazini laba singababuyisi noma singabadonsi. It's always the type of people that uplift you, that bring you up and so forth. So I've worked with them. I've done a lot of PR and communications work with them, hence the PR and communications company. I've supplied and sponsored water for events. We've worked with big brands, like we've worked with really big brands, BMW, Spanderson, Uzuelo Bags. It's an endless list. BNSC, Stay Up. You know, we've somehow created this little platform of ours within giving back to each and every single township or community or location or suburb or whatever that you are from. You know, network marketing, I think, and me working with those people have actually given me growth in myself and me meeting new people, getting clientele. You know, it's
And there's one thing engithola la kuwena ukuthi kunalokuba multifaceted as a person, and I feel like that's very important ngoba into ehlezi ishiwo le ukuthi when you are in the media industry you mustn't just have one thing omengayo, you have to do a lot of things ngoba another thing esuke khona, we have access to all these great people.
Exactly.
Abanye, they are coming onto your show and you're like, okay, maybe I can work
can
with
use this one here. Not use per se, but like I can work with this person.
Yeah.
So for me, I think being, like you said, strong personality and everything, I've always wanted to learn everything, you know. You can ask me anything on any subject. I will not tell you everything like 100%, but I would know the main aspects of Leon, because I'm always intrigued in learning, you know. So even meeting these amazing people, when I was exposed to them, it was amazing because I got to meet Abantabasha, I got to meet Tutusani, I got to meet a lot of amazing people. Winston, I've got to meet a lot of amazing people to a point, Guti. I drew inspiration towards those people. And they've taught me, Guti, in life, you don't just stand on one path, you know, you move. And me being a PR graduate, I've never worked in the PR industry. But when I started this stay up, I also expanded it to my PR and communications side, you know, where I offer communications and PR services to businesses, the works, anything PR, content creation, media, writing, the works, the whole works. So I think for me, it's a matter of expressing who you are, what you can do, what you can achieve, what you cannot achieve. And what my favorite thing that I've actually ventured into now is life coaching.
Okay.
Yeah, I've taken this thing of social media. Social media, it's either it can be positive or it can be negative.
Yes.
Exactly. So I've taken out the part. Like there was a part where Muslim queens.
Okay.
I was just like, oh my God, these people have made it in life. Where am I? You understand? And then I was like, no, but those are not the type of people that I associate myself with.
Yes.
Those are not the type of people in So what I did is I started unfriending people that are not in the same caliber or industry as me, and I started following people that I wanted to become like, you know, ordinary people, but people that are making things and doing big things. So I started following those people, and then I drew this inspiration of life coaching. And Uputima used to tell me, talk about anything, you know. So I started life coaching. I do these videos on my Instagram where I call it staying up with the Nothando Mazibuko.
Okay.
Everything is there.
It's a brand. Everything
is there.
And I feel like it fits
in almost
everything.
Every single thing.
Yeah.
Even now as an individual, it fits in everything. Whether you're studying, you are a graduate, umzali, you're single, whatever it is. But you're staying up.
And right now, uyakusiza loo nto leyo bonke lobunzima odlule kubona as a child. Because there are challenges also in starting your own business, in making sure that it's getting out there, your brand.
It did help me because first of all, it taught me patience. It taught me respect. You know, it taught me it took me a while to realize that, but it did in the long run teach me everything that's meant for you will be for you. So in how it started my business, because after high school in retail, and then I was able to get myself a sponsorship for studying mafunda, and then from there onwards I worked at call centers and these other IT companies. But then as a company, it was not, I couldn't be told. Hence the boss lady. The boss lady came about. Not that Angizwa, but in everything that I always used to do, I always had a sense of leadership. In group work, in msebenzini, issues I would be the first one to speak.
You have a strong personality.
I think maybe that's that. I'll be the first one to speak. I'll be the first one to So it was always that good. I was able to lead on, to have like a leadership type of demeanor, you know. And then that's how the whole boss lady thing came about. Good to know Yazin Minbas. So that's how I became Ubas of myself, and then just, you know, started off as a clothing brand, and from there as a clothing brand I went up to the water, and then as from the water I went up to a communications and PR company that I've, you know, somehow also established along the way. I am the PR coordinator and administrative assistant. So yeah, those are my not titles per se, because it's not a boasting type of thing. So I'm also part of the marketing team at DYR, and at the moment actually we're currently working on a competition, a campaign of course, called I Am a Woman, where women send in their business profiles. There's cash prizes, and it's a lot. Yeah. So I'm also part of the marketing and PR company. Unfortunately, because of COVID and everything that's been happening, we haven't been like really out there as the marketing team, but slowly we are gradually just coming up with concepts and ideas and everything.
Lesi siqephu sesiqopha nje kuyinyanga ekuthiwa yabantu besifazane. And when you are very young, umuntu wesifazane uyangena kule industry media, you are in business, ungathini kumuntu wesifazane osemusha ukhona ekhaya obukayo ngoba into ebuyibe khona kule industry yethu yaka media ukuthi kuba khona abantu abafuna ukuba usomathuba kubantu besifazane who are very hungry like you, uyabona, abasuke befuna ama opportunities, uyabona. Ungathini kubona kakhulukazi ukuthi baqaphele, yabo, because it's not everyone who's going to come into your life no matter how successful they are or how successful they look. Ozoba nama intentions ukuthi ngifuna ukuyisiza le ntombazanyana ukuthi iphumelele ngempela. So how can they be careful ukuthi baqaphele kubantu abasebenzisana nabo?
I think for me, my advice will come from the fact that I've been through it. Ne? Okay. I've been through a point where I've had so many business opportunities or so much of growth, but then ngikhuluma nomuntu ethizi athi in order for you to be where you are, yabo, kumele uqale wenze ukuthi or mhlawumbe uthola umuntu mhlawumbe ngithatha inamba yakho on WhatsApp siyakhuluma, hey manje mfethu, I'm like how I thought we were no, so besikubone lokho, so yabo, I don't understand asekho manje emsebenzini, so besikubone lokho. So and I told myself once you start in that in that way, you will forever be in that way and you can easily come out of the industry because izokulande izothiwa no fana usman ayilona vele yabo. So I told myself as in, if into it has to be mine, it's gonna be mine. I'm gonna work for it. So whoever it is that's listening, anyone that wants to start a business, that wants to actually become an independent woman, my take is for you to actually be street smart, be book smart, and know where you stand, know what you want, know Guti, the decisions you make on 23 December are going to impact you on 23 February next year, because everything comes back in life. You understand? So do something always because it's authentic, it's you. So work on your dreams, work on what you love. Don't listen to the noise around you, because we listen to the noise. Like I said, I used to follow abantu that have made it in life. You know, not following that have made it in life, not following people that are actually making it in life. So follow people that inspire you, follow people that are in the same caliber in you as you, follow people that are interested in learning from you. That's what I've learned. There's a lot of people, but someone else, when they look at me, they're like, wow, she's done so amazing. I want to just be like Thando. But Thando is humble to a sense. So be around people that want to learn from you and that you can learn from as well. Not just people who sing the mic.
No, and continue staying up. Yes. So how far are we here? If have you been able to retailers?
I don't want to lie to you, it's difficult. It's very difficult to be in retail. But I did once supply another store in town, but because of COVID, you know, it wasn't a bestseller, so it had to stop. But for now, personally, where you either call me or go through my socials. I think should I say my socials?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, all right. So if you want some Stay Up Premium Water on Instagram, it is stay_up_premium water. On Facebook as well, and then Mina personally Thando_Bosslady. On my page you can literally see every single thing about my business and everything. But if you want to order, it is 067 144 1681. 067 144 1681. It's not my first. It is not my personal number. It's for orders. You know, orders, anything, water, PR stuff, if you have events, whatever works. Anything that I am doing or I am a part of, life coaching, motivational talks that I do, then this is where you over there.
Continue staying up. Thank you. We are on the right track.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me as well.
Thando the Bosslady from ETYR. So kubeka ngena kumanye ama episodes sikulethela abantu abenza izinto ezibonakalayo, abenza izinto ezimangazayo. Sele kahle sebo. Masizwalele iphimbo lethi lolu ukhozi FM. So kuhuwe loyo. Ulithola kanjani leli thuba?